revisit the topic of carbocation rearrangements. I warned you when I first brought it up that carbocation rearrangements are rare enough that we might have difficulty remembering them, right? So let's take a couple extra seconds here with carbocation rearrangements. So when you encounter a carbocation, you have to consider if a rearrangement is possible. If a rearrangement is possible, then we have to consider, can it result in a more stable carbocation, right? So let's look at what we have here. And this is the way I would do it. And this is the way I'm going to do it. When you ask me to do it in class, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to, first of all, draw all the atoms out, right? There's another hydrogen here, right? There are two hydrogens here, okay? And I guess I'm going to do this with the slides too. But you can see what I'm doing here. I'm setting myself up for saying, is another carbocation possible? And if I flip from here to here, then I'm going to have a I'm going to go from a secondary carbocation to another secondary carbocation. But if, on the other hand, I go from here to here, I'm going to go from a secondary to a tertiary carbocation, right? That's what we're thinking. So can we take a secondary carbocation and rearrange it to make it a more stable tertiary carbocation, all right? So I just showed you, I just gave you a preview. You identify the hydrogen atoms, which I just said, just drew all those out, right? And then you identify a hydrogen or a methyl group, which is attached directly to, let me get my marker out here, directly to a neighboring carbon atom. Then you ask yourself, if I shift that methyl group or the hydrogen, can I get a more stable carbocation? Right, so I already showed a second ago that we could do that with that one. Now, tertiary carbocations typically will not rearrange unless a resonance stabilization is formed. So if you see a tertiary carbocation, you know, your alert for rearrangement sort of goes down because you typically won't rearrange unless unless resonance is possible, right? So in this case, I've got a tertiary, right? Under normal circumstances, I probably would think nothing of it. But look at this. If you've got a hydrogen that can shift over, then you've got resonance stabilization. See that? And so in that case, you can get carbocation rearrangement. So watch out for it. You're going to be asking yourself a lot of times, when you see carbocations, you need to ask yourself, will rearrangement give me a more stable carbocation? And if it will, it is likely that you will get a carbocation rearrangement. All right, good luck. Go practice these.